I'm Georgios, the Executive Director of FOGS, and I would like to welcome you to the second in the series of Director's Cut, a series of broadcasts that allows me to share with you my take on global developments. This time I would like to focus on the series of protests around the world in many countries, from Chile to the US to Belarus to Iraq and Thailand and Nigeria and many other places. What I call the October of Discontent. In Chile, for example, we have people asking for a more equitable economic system, for respect of their rights, including indigenous people's rights, and for a real transition to democracy. There we have a positive development. In recent days, the Chilean citizens, by a large majority, approved the beginning of the process of writing a new constitution, and we wish them all success in that process that will hopefully signal the start of a new era, a truly democratic era for Chile. In the US, we have seen a series of killings of black people by police forces, and the people have taken out to the streets to protest. The Black Lives Matter movement has formed and has really shaken the US in something that's a worrisome reminder of ages past, of experiences of the past that one thought that they were gone once and for all. And in such a big country, to see it being torn apart in a way and on the brink of some kind of civil strife is really worrisome for the citizens of the US and for the world as a whole. If we go then to Belarus, we see a president who has been there for decades claiming another victory in elections that were not really properly observed and that were not obviously democratically up to the standards that they should be. The people are out peacefully protesting, asking for their democratic rights to be respected and for new elections with international supervision. Hopefully, despite the repressive measures, they will get their demands in one way or another, hopefully soon and hopefully without any major actual conflict in the country. Then we can go to Thailand, where young people are out on the streets demanding constitutional amendments and changes that would reduce the role of the monarchy, which has been traditionally strong and traditionally used by the military to repress the population. And in Nigeria, we have the people protesting against the excesses and the corruption of special police forces that have tortured and killed people in their repressive responses to the protests. So we see really an upset populace all around the world, people who are really up in arms because they feel that their rights are not protected, are not respected by the governments, by the forces in power. But what I said in arms, thank God, it's still mainly a figurative statement, like a metaphor and not an actual reality. People are protesting overall peacefully, and they demand what is there and what they should be enjoying in terms of the constitutions and the international agreements that governments have signed all around the world. Therefore, it should be possible to resolve these tensions and to lead to better relations between governments and people in all places if the commitments were not just words, the commitments to human rights, the commitments to democratic principles, but became practice and action by the governments. We hope to see that, and we support the people who protest peacefully. The active citizens are a big part of what we see in a globalization that would be worth the name and would work for everybody. In FOGS, we talk about the grand narrative, a new approach for a fair and inclusive globalization that works for the well-being of people and the stability, resilience, and sustainability of our planet. And when we see active citizens protesting peacefully, we think that's the way to go, because people should not expect anybody to give them their rights if they are not respected, but they should demand them. At the same time, governments should be responsive. They should know that they're there to serve the people and not their own interests or the interests of an elite, or this impersonal raison d'etat or sovereignty that does not mean much if it is not backed by the loyalty of the people, and if there is no legitimacy because of disrespect of human rights and democratic principles. And we also want to remind everybody of another principle that is at the core of our narrative and of all moral codes anyway, which is respect for the rights of the others. Therefore, we all have rights and responsibilities, and there has to be tolerance and richness in diversity and ways to accommodate each other's requirements and needs while bringing overall peace and stability to our societies. The COVID is not helping with the stress that's adding to each and every society in the world, the insecurity that's causing the pandemic. And we'll talk about it separately in another broadcast. But of course, in this case also it exacerbates the protests. We hope that we will have positive developments in all of these cases that I mentioned earlier, and in others like in Iraq, in Lebanon and elsewhere, where people again are protesting for very justified reasons. Thank you very much, and I hope this has helped you understand and think a bit more about what is happening in our world and how perhaps you can help by being active citizens in your own environments, the immediate environments, but also through your actions and through your tweets and your presence in social media and otherwise, to contribute to a better world overall. Thank you.